Thank you for tuning in to my channel. AG here. And today, Progress Faster will be one of the most interesting videos you ever see on YouTube. Before we get started though, something from my wife.
Subscribe, like, comment, follow, and share. Have a great day.
Okay, let me get right into this right from the beginning. We have a comfort zone, and at the end of this comfort zone, we have a threshold. That threshold is when we stop doing the set. I'm relating this all to exercise. The key is, how can we extend our threshold further away so that we can do more in the beginning? Allow me to tell you the story of how I found a solution for extending the threshold in your comfort zone. I was going through a bunch of videos on YouTube, came across a Rich Piano video, which talked about doing 100 reps with light weight. Best thing about doing something like that is when it's light, the pain that eventually allows you to hit that tolerance takes a little bit longer compared to heavy weight, which obviously makes sense. I couldn't do as many, meaning I couldn't do the 100. So then I thought about what I need to do, and I ended up figuring out that I need to implement a breathing technique when I pause so that I can keep going and see how far I can get. And in about 5 days, I was up to about 250 reps. And that did carry over into the gym when I worked out. This method involves breathing. I'm not going to sit here and try to convince you all how important breathing is, or that breathing, when you breathe in through your nose, out through your mouth, which is kind of a deep diaphragm breathing, can actually help dissipate a little bit of pain. So, with that being said, I tried implementing the breathing. I would stop, I would breathe in through the nose, out through the mouth about 4 times, and then I would continue. And after about 5 days, I was up to about 250 reps that I could do. That carryover, which did work, when I went to the gym, I could do more right from the get-go. And I'm not a beginner. So this technique, from a newbie to a seasoned veteran, can work at any time. I also encourage that the breathing aspect of that maybe you could practice without actual weights. And that way you can also implement using your head and your thoughts to kind of change where the pain is. Breathe for technique. Now, in order to do more, you have to be able to endure more. So what that means is the comfort zone that we're in, we have a threshold. How can we extend that threshold further back? The technique, breathe for technique, is you get weights that you can handle, usually 10, 15 pounds, and you do either a full range or a partial range, whatever exercise, with the dumbbells. For me, I did lateral raises, and what I did there is, as I did as many as I could, when I stopped, I still held the weight, but then I breathed in through my nose, out through my mouth 4 times, and then I continued. As I continued to practice this, I eventually got to a point where I could do hundreds of reps, and that carryover made me stronger in the gym. The next part I want to talk about is an individual rep. I'm going to go ahead and show you a little something, and I'll narrate that, and then I'll come back. Here we are in the start position. Bending the elbow is a concentric movement, also called a positive. Holding the contraction is considered isometric, and elongating the elbow is called eccentric and also a negative movement. I saw a Dorian Yates video where he elaborated on concentric, eccentric, and isometric. Then I saw a Charles Glass video, and he seems to always be emphasizing isometric. So, with that being said, what I ended up realizing is when you need to challenge the eccentric movement the most. So, my system for building a rep is concentrically, I kind of explode, or I do it as fast as I can with force. The isometric is my squeeze, so I squeeze. And then my eccentric, which is the negative, I go slower than the concentric. And so what I do is I've learned that rep I implement on every set for every exercise. And what it gives me is it also gives me time under tension because it takes longer to do the rep. So I want to show you doing improper reps and proper reps, and I'll elaborate on that.
I've labeled these reps wrong because the concentric and the eccentric are the same pace with no isometric. I consider this correct because what you have isometric and you also have a longer eccentric movement. This one again is incorrect because you have the same rhythm on the concentric and eccentric. Obviously, you can see the difference in these rep rhythms. The key is to not give the strongest phase of the rep no effort.
Now that I showed you a way to progress faster by giving you a technique that I invented that'll allow you to extend the threshold on your comfort zone. With that being said, there's going to be a whole lot of good carryover into the gym. And then if you're able to design a rep that makes sense, that attacks the eccentric more than any other one, with that technique that you can do more, you will progress faster. Guaranteed.
Thanks again for watching. My next video will be a learn method on the easiest way to get in shape, part 1, first month.